So Google finally launched its AI music software. It's called MusicLM. It's so amazing. It's just incredible. It's been out for quite a while now, but Google took its sweet time in releasing it. You can try it out on their AI Test Kitchen app, which I'll talk more about later. For now, I'll explain how it works, and maybe you could try it out on your own time too. You simply type in words of the kind of music you want to generate. Include the vibe and emotion you're aiming for, like summertime or happy music. I tried out a few examples. Here are some of them. You can tell this one really follows the tempo. It gives you that happy feeling. When you first log in, it tells you to describe a music idea. This means you can write a prompt that is very descriptive. You can include electronic music or classical music. You can talk about the vibe, the mood, or emotions you're going for. Maybe you want happy music, or maybe you just want sad music to play. But one thing you should know is once you mention a specific artist, you might not get any music generation. And this is because Google is trying to avoid any kind of privacy concerns or copyright issues that might come through the music generated. Google will give you two options of the music generated, and you can select the best option. So what this will do is go in the back end. Usually we call this a training flywheel. This is then trained some more to better improve the model in the future. You can also save your tracks if you want to by clicking more and then saving it. Let's hear some examples here. How about EDM beat that is up-tempo, given a rave vibe? This is how it sounds like. For now, it only generates just a few seconds, but you can imagine in the future, it could generate up to hours. So several artists have spoken up against just AI generation in general. In this case, for MusicLM, I expect artists to warm up to it much easier. Just because it gets your creative juices flowing, you can type in a vibe you're looking for and get it to generate the type of beat you want. You can further tune it by going into details and describing specifically what you're looking for. If we get an open source version of MusicLM, then progress will go much further. You can have a lot of researchers working on this and trying to see the best way to improve the model. We've seen that in the Llama large language model, and so we should see similar improvements for MusicLM that is open source. But the question is, will Google release this to the public? The most likely answer is no, because Google is mostly reserved when it comes to releasing AI models. I believe Google wouldn't have released this, but there have been a ton of Microsoft AI models just coming out, as well as OpenAI. And so I think the pressure was really on Google to come up with something. And in the past few days, they've released a lot of AI models, including MusicLM. So they talk about how MusicLM outperforms previous systems, both in audio quality and adherence to text descriptions. And I've tested it myself, and it sticks mostly to what you're looking for. Here are some more examples. You can have an arcade game style, or you can have a fusion reggaeton. So how do you get access to this again? First, you should try signing up for Google's AI Test Kitchen. It's an app I got on my phone about a month ago, and it helps you just test several Google AI models that are coming out. So this time I was able to test MusicLM. The only thing is you would have to join a wait list. So the earlier you join, obviously the faster you get in. If you're really looking forward to this, I suggest you join right now on AI Test Kitchen. So MusicLM is based on Google's AudioLM. I covered this a few months ago. What AudioLM can do is just mind-blowing. It could do way more than music. MusicLM is just focused on music, but AudioLM covers generating any kind of voice, as well as piano music, which back then we were so fascinated by. But now it's just another feature for AI music. Google never released Audio LM. My guess is they're still working on it. But more importantly, I believe they're concerned about deepfake audio. So they're probably looking at ways to solve it. And maybe they're just testing music generation first. Later, they can release the larger model that can generate any kind of voice. MusicLM has more features. AI Test Kitchen just shows a part of it. But when you go on the projects page, you find more options. These are not publicly available yet. You're able to generate longer sequences of music. Here's an example where you can generate up to 5 minutes of music, whether you're looking for a melodic techno song or a relaxing jazz music. One especially interesting one I found was the story mode. Basically, for a timestamp period, you can select the kind of vibe you're looking for. Let's look at the first example, where the first 15 seconds is dedicated to meditation. The next 15 is time to wake up. The next one is time to run. And the final one is time to give it 100%. Let's hear how this goes and how the music progresses. There are other examples here you can check out on your own time. I'll leave the link down below. Another interesting example is using a painting to generate music. So here we can see an example of Napoleon crossing the Alps. And from that image, you can get a summary of what the image is about and then generate music around it. Let's hear an example. It's just fascinating. There are several other ways to implement MusicLM. I'll suggest checking out this page to see a variety of options and to play around with it. So this is the first AI music software we'll talk about. The next one is equally as exciting. It's another one from Google. This one actually came out a few months ago. I had meant to cover this, but with so much going on in AI, it's hard to keep covering all these topics. But I finally got around to it. So let's cover it on a higher level. In this video, we won't go so much into detail. We're looking at SingSong AI. So how is this different from MusicLM? This is actually mind-blowing. It helps you generate musical beats or musical notes from just a singing voice or from just a music recording voice. So the way it works is you have your vocals that's recorded, and then what Google will do is generate the beats that accompany it. And you can just see how mind-blowing this is, right? I'll show you how that works in a second. In the first example, you talk about the vibe and the music type you're looking for, and you get the beat. But now, another way you could generate the beat is just record the vocals you're thinking about or that you have written down. And then what will happen is SingSong will generate the backing instrumentals to it. When I'm gone away, no one will worry. When I'm gone away, no one will worry. Marble eyes, the silver screen will still be there. That's just mind-blowing. You can just imagine artists trying to get their hands on this because it really helps with the creative process, right? So maybe there's a time where you're really finding it hard to generate beats or instrumentals. Now, what you could do is you can start recording the vocals for any ideas that come to mind and gradually work with this AI to head towards the ideal beat over time, right? So you can look at this AI as a music assistant.
Out the pole, wrap them fists like a casting call. Get off the ropes, we about to brawl. Is this punch too sweet, y'all? That's the jaw, south the pole, wrap them fists like a casting call. Get off the ropes, we about to brawl. Is this punch too sweet, y'all?
Now, let me just kind of lay out how an end-to-end, all AI inclusive or AI assisted music writing process would look like. You can have GPT write lyrics for you or give you song ideas and can then sing it and have SingSong layer it for you, generating the beat or giving you an idea of some sort. Or you can also use MusicLM to generate the beats before, and once that starts to get your juices flowing, you can start writing. So there are different ways to approach it based on your creative style. But you can see how this really expands the level of opportunity that artists will now have in recording songs. Absolutely incredible. And if you're too judgmental with this now, then maybe don't be too harsh on it. Just imagine what this could be in the next 2 years. And if you've been following all my videos, then you notice I tend to say this a lot. But the thing is, this is probably the worst all of these AI models could get. They only have an upward trajectory, meaning they could only get better. SingSong isn't released by Google yet. Who knows when or if it'll ever be released, but I'm so excited for it and I'm looking forward to it. If you're a musician or an artist or someone who just loves music, what do you think about SingSong or MusicLM? I'd love to know your thoughts. So this video is a bit different. I try to make it more interactive by talking with you like, you're sitting right in front of me and making this more dialogue based. So I'm open to feedback on how you think this video is compared to my other videos. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, it's goodbye.